so it was a great feeling. Yeah, it was really nice.
Did you have a feeling one way or the other when you called them?
Yeah, I mean, I felt pretty good about my position. You know, way I played at the PGA and then winning Barclays. I felt like um, I felt like I had a good opportunity and a good chance. So, um, you know, winning when I did cured a lot of things.
How'd you celebrate?
Yeah, I haven't yet. I mean, I just been, you know, celebrating my mind. I guess haven't done much. Gonna wait till I go home, I guess. And yeah, but it's exciting. You know, Ryder Cup is something that everyone wants to think about at the beginning of the year. You know, it's a Ryder Cup year. Everyone's already talking about it, and it's kind of, you know, kind of slide in at the last second there and get a spot. Man, it was a great feeling.
All right, DJ.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, very excited to be here at the BMW Championship, as I have been the last few years, and very thankful to be the position I'm in right now, being number one on the FedEx Cup list. Obviously, it's nice to be there, and hope that I can have another couple solid weeks and hopefully stay there. But I saw the golf course for the first time today, and it's the great classic course that everyone had described it to me as, and I really enjoyed it. The greens are in unbelievable shape and really quick. So looking forward to the tournament.
Okay, we'll take some questions. If you could raise your hand, we'll use the microphones, please.
What's the greater consolation, Chris, on Tom's call yesterday? The 1.4 million, the trophy, or not having to burn the Georgia tickets?
People shouldn't make more of a big deal about the Georgia game than it is. You know, I was joking really. I mean, I will be going to the Georgia game, obviously, but you know, I'm only a little bit bummed that I didn't make the team. You know, I'm mostly just really excited that I won the biggest tournament of my career, and like I said, I've moved to number one on the FedEx Cup list. It was slightly disappointing. I watched the replay of the coverage yesterday, and the announcer said that I said that I didn't want a Ryder Cup pick. They said that on the coverage, and that couldn't have been further from the truth, and I definitely never said that. So, I mean, I would have loved to have been on the team, but I'm just really focused on what's in front of me right now and this playoff race here, and hopefully I'll be on a bunch of Ryder Cup teams to come.
I've been in this position for a while now that I know how to handle it better. But at the start, there was a little bit of you know, getting used to and really, you know, finding a way to, you know, what my priorities were. You know, you have to practice, you have to do the things that you always did to get to that point, which was to be the best player in the world. And, you know, I can't neglect that. So that's first and foremost. And then everything else is after that.
Okay, right here.
Rory, what did you think of Paul McGinley's picks? Were you surprised at all at Luke's submission?
You know, it was a flip of the coin between Luke and Lee. You know, each had attributes that the other didn't, and you know, Paul at the end of the day, you know, went for experience and probably more of a talisman in the team room. You know, what you'd get with Luke is, you know, he's great short game. You know, he's going to hold putts for you when he needs to. It really was a coin flip. I've obviously no. You know, he could have picked Lee, he could have picked Luke. It wouldn't have, you know, made a difference to me. Both would have been as good as each other. So, you know, it's disappointing for Luke that he didn't quite make the team. But you know, saying that, it's a very strong 12 that we have, and you know, we have a great chance to win again.
Okay, Randy.
Rory, when you played so well through the FedEx Cup a couple years ago and did not win it, was there frustration in that, or just added motivation to want to win it?
You know, I still got compensated pretty well for second place, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I said this at the Barclays. I feel like it's been such a great year on the golf course that if, you know, I wasn't to go ahead and win the FedEx Cup, it would definitely be disappointing, and it would, you know, I really want to cap off this summer as best as I can, and, you know, I have 2 more weeks to push through, and even though I am feeling a little tired, and, you know, I'm trying to conserve as much energy as possible. It did, not winning a couple of years ago did add a little bit of fuel to the fire, and it probably makes me a little more determined to try and win it this year.
Okay, right over here.
Roy, 16 winners, players that are in their 20s. What do you make of your generation, the young generation? Is there some common denominators among your group? And do you enjoy being kind of the bell cow of the group?
I think it's... I think when guys of a similar age see, say for example, say I'll take Ricky as an example. He's a similar age to me, and other guys see him, do what he's done in the majors this year and compete, and be up there every single one of them. Or they see me, and obviously I've won a few, and other guys are breaking through and winning. I think that just sort of makes them believe that they can do the same thing. We're a similar age. We've, mostly come from similar sort of backgrounds and played the same tournaments growing up. But, a few of them, especially the guys from over here, went to college and went through that system. But I think it's great to see. It's great to see that there's, younger guys winning on tour, and it only bodes well for the future of this game. And yeah, I'm glad I'm the leader of that pack, and hopefully I'm the leader of that pack for the next 20 years as well.
Okay, let's get Sean and Bob right here.
You've played one Ryder Cup at home and away. What's it like playing at home? How much does the crowd help, or can it hurt and make it harder to control emotions from them behind you?
I think, honestly, for me, it's probably a little more difficult to play at home, just because of the expectations and you want to do so well, not just for the team and yourself, but for everyone else that's cheering you on. It feels like I loved it at Medina when you held a putt to win a hole and there was like silence. I just loved that. That was awesome. But I think if you do get off to a good start in matches at home and the crowd really get behind you, it makes it very difficult for the opponents to try and get some sort of momentum back. So I guess it's a double-edged sword in some ways, but if I think this year, for not just for me but for the rest of the team, if we can really just manage our expectations, because we're going to be favorites going in, and everyone's going to assume that we are going to take another Ryder Cup, but it doesn't quite work like that. If you look at the last two Ryder Cups, Europe has only won 2 out of the 9 sessions. There should have been 10, but obviously in Celtic manner, that Sunday was just combined into 2 sessions into one, and we've only won 2. And that was one of the sessions we won 5.5 to 1/2, and then the singles in 2012. They're the only 2 sessions that we've won. So there's been some tied sessions, and then some sessions that have went the US's way. So it's been tighter than people think. And I think it'll be the exact same way this year. So we just have to manage our expectations and go out there and make sure we put a lot of points and a lot of blue on the board early and go from there, get the crowd behind us.
All right, let's go Bob and then Karen.
Rory, to follow up on the FedEx Cup question, if you could, what change would you make to the format? Would you do anything different to alter it?
I'd make majors and WGCs throughout the regular season. I'd give them more significance, more points. So I mean, I'd view say a major win as maybe, well, not that it really matters because everything's reset at the end anyway. So the points are reset after this week, and we go into the Tour Championship, and it makes it exciting at the end. If you're top 5 going in there, if you win, you're going to win the overall thing. So there's, if we want to make it exciting and have people turn up to the Tour Championship wanting to, having to play well, then there's probably not really a better format. But and that's what it's all about. They're the playoffs for a reason. So I'd keep it the way it is. I think there might be a couple little tweaks next year. I'm not too sure, but I have no complaints about it. Even in 2012 when I didn't end up winning, Brandt was top 5 going into the Tour Championship, and he wins, and you know what happens then, and I didn't. So I had no complaints about that.
All right, Karen and then Doug.
Rory, this is meant as a sort of light-hearted follow to the Ryder Cup. When you nearly missed your tee time 2 years ago, what was the reaction of your watch sponsor at the time?
I'm not too sure, actually. I don't really. I don't know. I think that's when Omega started to pursue me pretty heavily. I don't know.
One of your sponsors is a company that deals in time, and time was your enemy on that day.
Time was my enemy on that day. A little bit, I guess, but it's, I'm just glad that everything worked out well, and I got to that first tee and ended up winning my match. I would have felt terrible if it had have been, the other way around, if I hadn't have made my tee time and hadn't have had to forfeit a match, or I, played terrible and lost. I wouldn't have felt very good, but luckily that didn't happen, and we all moved on, and it definitely won't happen again this year.
All right, Doug.
Rory, how much do you know about the 1960 Open here with Hogan and Palmer and the 20-year-old Nicklaus?
I know what everyone else knows, that Palmer was trying to drive the green every day, and drove it on the Sunday, shot 65, won. Don't really know too much more than that, though. But I know that was 60? Nicklaus won it in 62. But yeah, I don't really know
Nicklaus
much more
was
than
the
that.
20-year-old amateur that year that almost
Yeah.
won. I was just curious, if we had that today, who's Hogan, who's Arnie, and who's Jack?
Wow, I don't know. It's hard at different eras. It's so hard to. A 20-year-old amateur. It's sort of. You could say Jordan Spieth, but he's been on the PGA Tour for like a year and a half, so that sort of doesn't make sense.
He's not as fat either.
What's that?
He's not as big as Jack.
Tell him you said that, Doug. I don't know. It's hard. Like, who do you, who compares in the modern day to like Hogan? Like, no one does. No one. You can't compare anyone to Hogan, and you can't compare anyone to Arnie either. It's just different eras and different charismas and different styles of play. It's just hard. It really is. It's hard to, and I think that's especially the argument of, especially this Tiger Jack argument. It's so hard to compare because they played in such different eras. Different. The game has totally changed. So, it's so hard to compare.
Bad question for a Wednesday.
Okay, right here.
Yes, Rory, to kind of piggyback on that question, we talked about Arnold Palmer driving the green on Sunday in the 60 Open. Talked to Graham McDowell yesterday, and he said he wasn't sure that was more than a 5-wood for someone like you. And do you think that equipment changes and technology changes have taken any of the teeth of Cherry Hills away, or is it because it's such a mature course, it's still going to play very, very difficult for you guys?
I think modern technology has really, we might have 526-yard par 4s out there, but today for me that was a 3-wood and an 8-iron. So it's not, because the ball just goes so far up here. It's taken a bit of the teeth out of what this golf course probably did have before, but all you need to do for a difficult golf course is get the greens firm and get the rough up, which they have done here. So and a little bit of wind as well will make it tricky, and you won't see guys going crazy under par. You'll still see some pretty low scores out there, but it's an old traditional timeless golf course in a way, and if they want, especially with the green complexes, they can make it as tough as they want. So there's still a bit of bite there.
Okay, let's take a couple more right here.
Rory, in Tom Watson's gripping wildcard extravaganza last night, he said that Keegan Bradley could be the American Poulter. You know both of them very well. Do you see the similarities there?
They're both nuts. That's the first thing. Yeah, I mean, Keegan gets really passionate about it. Like, he really does. He's probably, yeah, if I was to compare sides, he's the guy on the US team that could get anywhere close to the passion that Poulter shows, I think. And yeah, I mean, Keegan, yeah, I know Keegan a lot. You know, I play with him a lot down in Florida, and you know, I hang out with him, and I know how badly he wanted to make that team, and I was happy to see that he got picked. It was, you know, he really wants it, and I'm sure he'll perform well.
All right. Anything else? Okay, let's take one more in the back. Okay, go ahead right here. That's fine.
Yeah, getting back to the course, with where we're at in the Cup right now, and I understand that accuracy is important, but is looking at the field, do you see anybody with the kind of do or die attitude to even go for a 59?
You know, there's probably going to be a few guys that get off to good starts this week that will be thinking of it, especially, you know, you can drive the first green, you can drive the third green. You know, you got a wedge into the second, you got a wedge into the fourth, the fifth's a tough hole. You know, 7, you can get it close to the green. You know, there's chances where you could maybe go 5 or 6 under par after 9 and start to think about it, but then, you know, the back 9's got some difficult holes, and I think it'll be tough. Even though it's got 2 par 5s, it's still going to be tough to keep your round going. So I think you're going to see some maybe, you know, 63, 64s. I don't think you're going to see much lower than that this week.
All right, let's take the last one right back here.
Just a quick one. What between yesterday and today, what did you hit off the tee on 1 and 3?
I hit 3-wood on the first hole yesterday, sort of pin high left. I hit driver today, just over the back right of the green. And on the third hole, I've hit 3-wood both days.
All right, Rory McIlroy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.